With his big, flashy chrome grille and square, imposing body, some might make the mistake of labeling this as just a Chinese Rolls-Royce ripoff. And the similarities haven't gone unnoticed in China, earning it the nickname the Hangzhou Cullinan. But that's where the similarities end. Packed with tech and features that will blow your mind and enough power to run a nuclear reactor, this is the Zeekr 9X, and it's bloody brilliant in its own right. I'm Will, and this is China Driven. Yeah, that's what you call road presence. I mean, look at it. It's an unapologetic mass of metal sculpted into a masterpiece of brutal luxury. And its unofficial motto, I think, is go big or go home.
Look, the chrome grille is obnoxious, deliberately so, but it fits with the whole brute boxy look. The headlight unit's a mix of diamond cut facets and sparkling stars, and this juxtaposition of coarse, powerful design and delicate details, surprisingly in the metal, really works together. But if you're not one for shiny chrome trinkets, let me give you the remedy. The utterly cool, murdered out, all black 9X. From chrome middle-aged to young and vibrant, just by removing the chrome.
This is what happens when brutalism gets suited and booted, and whether you like looks or not, well, you can't ignore it. In my Chengdu Auto Show video, I said that this year in China was the year of the full-size SUVs, and this thing is 5.23 meters long, with a wheelbase of 3.17 meters. It's over 1.8 meters tall and over 2 meters wide. This is a big boy for sure. It's got automatic opening doors and auto deploying step as well to help you get in and out. But the dominating kind of feature on this side has to be this chrome surround, which emanates here in the D-pillar in this solid chrome satin chunk. But look, if I was to buy one, I wouldn't opt for the chrome grille or even the chrome surrounds. I go for the all black version because that looks mean as hell. And back here you get the same kind of crystallized, kind of diamond sparkling LED rear tail light. It's kind of almost like a hoop back here. And oh yes, this has a split tailgate. And that means that, well, you can sit down there. Oh, it's pretty high, but you can drop it on the rear suspension if you want to, you know, have it lower to help you get things in and out. Now, in terms of space back here, with that third row up, it's 470 liters, but of course, you can drop them down by a push of a button. And if you do drop them down, then you're looking at roughly over or around 2,000 liters. We don't have an exact figure yet, but with that third row down and those second row seats put forwards, you're looking around 2,000 liters in total. There's also a 3-pin socket back here as well, in case you want to power something from the car. And also in this tailgate, there are some little cup holders, you know, so you can sit out here in the wonderful wilderness, looking at beautiful mountains on the back of your luxury SUV. Now, if you're watching and waiting for me to tell you that because of China's competitive EV landscape that you can snag one of these for less than a used Toyota Corolla and a can of Coke, well, you'd be wrong. This is a premium product and therefore it carries a premium price tag. Now, we don't have the final sales prices for the Zeekr 9X, but we do know the pre-sale price kicks off at around 480,000 RMB. That's about $67,000. But if you're eyeing this top of the line hyper edition, well, that will set you back a not insignificant sum of 570,000 RMB, around $80,000. Now, that's a wedge of cash for sure, but you get a lot of car for your money.
The Zeekr 9X sits on a 900-volt platform, and so this hybrid has 6C charging, meaning all variants charge 20 to 80% in just 9 minutes. The Max and Ultra come equipped with the same 55 kilowatt-hour NCM battery as standard. The Max version has a slight range advantage over the Ultra, but both crack over 250 kilometer EV-only range, with the Max edging out the Ultra with a combined 1,200 kilometers. While the top Hyper Edition gets a larger 70 kilowatt-hour NCM pack as standard, an EV-only range of 355 kilometers, and a combined range of 1,165. So these are all on the CLTC, so use this as a reference point. You ain't getting these numbers in real life.
So the interior of the Zeekr 9X, let's get into it. Now, according to Zeekr, the interior can be described as, let me just get this right, the symbiotic paradigm of minimalist aesthetics and the philosophy of order. Don't worry, you haven't forgotten how to speak English. That's just the pinnacle of marketing tosh and ChatGPT translation gibberish. But it's safe to say that Zeekr's come up with another cracking interior. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Zeekr know how to nail interiors. A combination of high-level materials and style, spot on. You get soft Napa leather everywhere, you get a micro suede headliner, you get real wood and metal accenting. And it's all screwed together in a really premium way. There's a reassuring action to the buttons that you use and also the controls. Buttons is another thing that I like. There's buttons up here for all your seat controls and some other buttons down here, including a customizable button as well. This one's been mapped for the glove box. You also get a push play for the media as well as a crystal knob with a nice click sound. Listen to that. And that's surrounded by real metal and real wood. In the center, you have two dual layer 16-inch 3.5K OLED screens. You get a 13-inch digital instrument panel, and behind the steering wheel you have a 47-inch AR heads-up display. And all the screens in here and everything in the cabin is being run by dual Snapdragon 8295 SoCs. If I had to critique this front cockpit, then I'd have to say that I'm not a big fan of the dual screen setup, and that goes for any car that has it. And the very simple reason is that, to my eye, it kind of makes the front look a bit lopsided. You see, the passenger screen actually stops rather abruptly somewhere in the middle of where the passenger sits, and therefore I just don't get a sense that everything is kind of centered. But it's not that big of a deal, and it's definitely not the end of the world, and it wouldn't stop me buying one. You get dual 50-watt ventilated wireless charging pads, and these front seats, well, they have heat, ventilation, and 22-point spa massage function. I'm not even sure if I've got 22 points on my body to be massaged. And anyway, these seats are soft and supportive at the same time, and the only thing that makes them better is, on a long drive, having your butt massaged. And the last thing to talk about, I guess, is storage. You have some cup holders behind here. You've got a little bit of storage in the center console. You obviously also have a glove box, and on each door in here, you get a little pocket down here, which is felt lined, where you can keep some things. Zeekr suggested you keep jewelry in there, but seeming it's not password protected, I wouldn't leave it in there overnight. First things first, in the second row of the Zeekr 9X, you've got two true gravity seats, and what that means is that they're going to lift me up and support me. The backrest is going to go down 145 degrees, and the seat base is going to lift up 23 degrees, and your legs are going to swing up 125. All of this to say that I feel like I'm laying on a supportive cloud. It's incredibly comfortable. And these front seats, of course, have heat, ventilation, and the same 22-point spa massage function that the front row has. And if that's not enough functionality for you, they even swivel. Watch this. Now that's wild, and it might not be the first time you've seen that. If you've seen our Zeekr Mix video or Linko 900, this is a feature that Zeekr really enjoys putting in its large SUVs of vehicles. But that's not the only moving part inside the 9X interior. I think Zeekr has solved the problem that nobody really had. You see, in most three-row SUVs with rear screen entertainment, you get a small sunroof above the front row and then a large sunroof between the second and third row. But in here, you'll see they're switched. There's a small one in the back and a large one that stretches from the front to the second row. Why? Well, let me explain. So because Zeekr wanted that large opening sunroof over the first and second row, well, they couldn't have a rear entertainment screen attached because it would be in the way. So therefore, they have a screen, it's just not attached. It's on rails and it slides. Talk about a solution to a problem I'm not sure anybody had, but it is cool. This screen is a 17-inch dual layer OLED screen with Dolby Vision, but what's more impressive is the audio system that is paired with. It's a 32 speaker surround sound system with 3,868 watts, and it also has Dolby Spatial Audio 9.2.4.8, and it's made by Name. Now, if you don't know who Name Audio are, well, they are a high-end British audio supplier, but up until now, they've only exclusively provided audio solutions for cars to Bentley. And if you wanted to buy a Name audio system in your Bentley, it's an optional, by the way. You'll pay between $9,000 to $32,000. And those systems are smaller than the one that's in this 9X. If you wanted this system in Bentley money, it'd probably cost you $50,000. Here, it's standard. Bargain luxury. And it's properly immersive back here if you're watching a movie, because the front and second row get the headrest speaker, so you get that full 9.2.4.8 spatial audio. You also have a 5D experience back here, and no, it doesn't mean that it squirts water in your face or anything like that, but there is a speaker inside the seat that vibrates along with the bass of the movie. If you pick the right movie, then it really livens things up. And if you want my suggestion, you should watch June, or maybe that F1 movie. And obviously, being a premium new energy Chinese vehicle means it has a decent AI voice assistant, and Zeekr models actually have DeepSeek integrated into them. Hi Eva, 开冰箱. So you get a decent 9-litre fridge here, and it will cool things down to -6 or warm them up to 50 degrees. And above it, you have a small 6.3-inch OLED screen that kind of acts like the car's control panel. You can control things like navigation, the fridge, the doors, the windows, the AC, and all of that. And on the back of it, it's got a lovely real wood finish. What do I mean by the back of it? Well, this thing, well, you can also just remove it and use it as a remote control. There is one question I have about this, and this is super cool, is there's also another remote control. Two things to lose? Okay, there's a few other little things in the back of here, so let me just quickly run through them. You get a table on the passenger side to put things and do work. You have a B-pillar outlet for the AC, as well as one for overhead, your reading light, and obviously a grab handle. You have a sunshade for that opening sunroof up there. You also have a sunshade for the window. You have automatically opening doors, and you have a couple of buttons to be able to do that. You have cup holders in here, and there's also a cup holder for the two seats down here as well, and a little tray table. You also have the same kind of little door pockets down here if you want to put things in, felt lined, and all your seat controls are in here, tucked neatly in the inside of the armrest. There's also a little pockets to place your phone as well. And generally, you've got the same high quality materials as you have at the front. You've got Napa leather everywhere. You've got real wood on the back of these seats and real metal accenting as well. And it's also knurled nicely too. There's not much more you could ask for this second row. Now I'm in the third row of the Zeekr 9X, and the first question always is how much space do you have in the third row in these large SUVs? Now, I'm not the tallest person in the world. I'm 1.7 meters, so do bear that in mind. But even then, leg space doesn't look very good, so my knees are rammed up against the seat in front. But I'm actually being a little bit unfair because I've moved this third row
as far forwards as possible, and you might do that if you want more space in the trunk without having to fold down this third row. In fact, these third row seats can move quite a lot. You can move the seat bases. They go back and they go back some more, and they're still going back and some more, and then there we go. And now, I mean, I have literally a fist and 3 fingers. I have plenty of knee room. I think if you're probably up to 1.85 meters, you should be okay back here, especially if this person isn't, you know, completely lounging in the second row. Head space, I mean, I've got over a fist of space here, so again, you know, 1.8 meters, you'll be fine. In terms of functionalities back here, well, you do also get seat recline, and they also recline a fair way as well, so you can get properly comfortable. You also get 3-stage heat. You have a sunshade for the sunroof back here, 2 reading lights, a grab handle, and overhead air outlet, a cup holder back here, and you also have a little manual, this is manual here, sunshade for the window as well. And you know what? These third row seats are actually quite comfortable. Like, look, if you're like a basketball player, like, don't think you're getting in the back of here comfortably. But if you have kids, well, remember that sliding TV? You can slide it all the way to the back. So sitting back here, there's a couple of old kids. It's almost like a little den back here. Okay, we're just taking off road in the Zeekr 9X, and let me tell you, surprising what this thing can do. Now, it's nearly impossible to film whilst in the car and moving around, so I'll talk you over it over some B-roll. Firstly, do we really expect owners of the Zeekr 9X to be taking their premium SUV off-road? No. Realistically, 99% of Zeekr 9Xs will never be challenged by more than a curb or a car park ramp. But Range Rover basically built their whole brand on the back of its off-roading capability, even though most owners are never taking their expensive SUVs off-road. It's the idea that they could that sells. And while I'm not saying that the Zeekr 9X will outdo the Range Rover off-road, it seems to hold its own. I would say this was actually more green laning than off-roading, but the Zeekr 9X scrabbled its way through some pretty impressive slop.
First things first, this Zeekr 9X is on what Zeekr calls its SEA super hybrid platform. It's a 900 volt platform. That's why it's able to recharge its batteries so quickly. And because it's a hybrid, it means it's got a engine. This has a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo, and it's got 205 kilowatts of peak power. In the Max and the Ultra models, you get 660 kilowatts combined power. And that's enough to hustle it from 0 to 100 in 3.9 seconds, which is pretty impressive, seeing that this thing weighs like 2.8 tons. Or is it? Because if you get the Hyper, the tri-motor, then you have 1,030 kilowatts of power. That's like 1,400 horsepower in old torque. And that can rocket this huge monster to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.1 seconds. So it's absolute madness. That means that this luxury brick is over 2 seconds faster to 100 than the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. When you're not hooning it around, then you can appreciate the comfort that the 9X brings, which is probably what you should be first thinking about if you want this car. And it is comfortable. I mean, you're talking about dual chamber air suspension, dual valve CDC. And like most Zeekr products, the suspension and ride is really well set up. It's dampened sublimely, and it's comfortable as well. But you always get a sense that you have some idea of what's going on underneath you, which I really appreciate. It doesn't feel completely devoid and detached from the road. Now, if you pick that top of the range Hyper spec, then you will be treated to a 48 volt anti-roll stabilization bar. And that, they say, is able to exert 1,400 Newton meters of force. In fact, they say that it can lift 700 kilos on each side up to, I think they said 80 centimeters. And that's going to help to keep this big, high car as flat as possible. Now, Zeekr did have a line that said that the 9X MVH rivals
the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, but they didn't actually give me any statistics, so I don't exactly know how close or if it actually beats the Cullinan. But what I can tell you is they say that this is only half a decibel louder than a pure EV, which is quite an achievement. And the way they've done that is with active noise cancelling. So they have two systems, RNC and ENC. So road surface noise cancellation and engine noise cancellation. And all I can say is it's pretty good in here in terms of noise. Can you hear the engine when it switches on? Yes. Is it intrusive? Not really. It's definitely in the background, and if you've got just even the slightest amount of music, you wouldn't even notice it. There's no vibration from it or anything like that. It's really well mannered. All in all though, it's a pleasant driving experience. Now this doesn't have the top level ADAS, but it does come with some of Zeekr's NZP suite. I think they call this the G7, which is the middle of Zeekr's ADAS levels, or Geely's ADAS levels. It's G Pilot, with the Hyper having the G9. And just like many ADASs now, when you turn it on, the exterior lights will go a turquoise color. This is a thing that's kind of happening in China, that when cars are using ADAS, that there is a signal to other road users that the car is in that mode. And we're using it right now, and it is doing what it's meant to be doing. Now that top variant, it comes with 2 4U chips, 5 LiDAR, 5 4D milliwave radar, and gobs of cameras. And Zeekr are basically saying that it is level 3 ready, but who remembers HD ready TVs? They're all only 720p. They could never actually do HD. Let's hope that the cars coming out now with all of this hardware won't be in the same position in a year or two. And I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for every car company out there. I'm really, really excited to see who can actually deliver a true level 3 system, even if it's just on the highway. But I don't think we're really quite there for full hands off, eyes off. The Zeekr 9X is the pinnacle of Zeekr, a true flagship product with big tech and loads of features and insane road presence. 47,000 people have already placed orders for this, and it's not hard to see why. The 9X has 1,400 horsepower. For perspective, this only has 1. Yeah, I'm on a horse, but you didn't expect that, and I still have more legroom than a Model Y L.